In this section, we're going to be looking at rate of change and slope. A rate of change is a ratio that compares the amount of change in a dependent variable to the amount of change in an independent variable. So rate of change equals change in dependent variable over change in independent variable. The rate of change is similar to the slope of a line in that it is the change of the y over the change of the x. So when we look at slope, we look at the rise over run, which is the same thing as the change in y over the change in x. Remember that y is the dependent variable and x is the independent variable. The rise is the difference in the y values of 2 points on a line, and the run is the difference in the x values of 2 points on the line. The slope of a line is the ratio of the rise to run for any 2 points on the line. So now we're going to look at this on a graph. So on this graph, we're going to graph a line, and then we're going to find the slope of that line. Okay, so here we have a line, and we have those 2 points on the line. We want to find the slope between those 2 points, which would be the slope of the line. So we're going to start at the lower point first. We're going to count the y values that it rises up to the next point. And we can just count the units. So if we start at 3 and go up to 6, we can see that it rises 3 units. And then if we see it go over, it goes over 2 units to the right. So, similar to the change in y over the change in x, we can write 3 over 2. The rise equals 3, and the run equals 2. So we can write it in rise over run form, so 3 over 2, which equals slope. Now we're going to look at the graph. Now we're going to look at another graph and find the slope of a line. Okay, so we're going to look at this line, and we're going to try to figure out the slope. We're going to go from the origin to the second point. So start at the origin and count the units up. 1, 2, 3. So our rise is 3. And then we're going to count the units over to the right. We can see that we go 1, 2 to the right. So our run equals 2. So slope equals rise over run, which would be 3 over 2. Now we're going to look at some examples of different graphs. We're going to look at positive slope, negative slope, zero slope, and undefined. So first, let's look at positive slope. This line represents positive slope because the line rises from left to right. Now we're going to look at negative slope. Here we have negative slope. The line falls from left to right. Negative slope would have a negative sign, and it would be falling from left to right. Now we're going to look at a horizontal line. A horizontal line represents zero slope because it's flat and has zero slope. There's no rise. There's only run. Now we're going to look at a vertical line. A vertical line is only rising and there is no run, therefore it is undefined slope because we cannot put a number for the slope because it would be rise divided by 0, which leaves us undefined.